How can someone reduce adverse selection? Screens can reduce adverse selection. A screen is an observable measure that is correlated with an unobservable trait. Here are some examples. A college degree is correlated with productivity. Aggressive driving is correlated with age, credit scores, gender, and driving record. Effective guarantees and warranties are correlated with product quality. Diligent workers are more willing to accept contingent compensation than shirkers. The Dilbert cartoon shows probably a misapplication of a screen. You're tall, so you must be competent. First of all, height and competency aren't related well at all, but it's even worse when how tall you sit in the chair is not correlated with your height at all. To be effective, or for a screen to be effective, the cost to bad customers or sellers of mimicry must be higher than the benefit. If the benefit to a bad worker of try and act like a good worker is greater than the cost of doing so, then the bad workers will simply act like good workers, and the screen becomes ineffective. Firms are more and more using data analytics to improve the screens they use for selecting new employees. Now, how can someone convince someone else that he or she is a good buyer or seller? One way to convince someone else that you're a good buyer or seller is to send a signal. A signal is an observable action that is correlated with an unobservable trait. Here are some examples. Earning a college degree signals to employers that you are intelligent and diligent. Offering a guarantee or warranty that imposes cost if the product is defective signals that the quality is high. Offering to work for contingent compensation signals that you are a diligent worker. Asking for a larger deductible on an insurance policy signals that you anticipate lower than average claims. Keeping skin in the game signals that you think the investment is good. To be effective, the cost to bad customers or sellers of mimicry must be higher than the benefit. How can someone reduce moral hazard? Monitoring and incentives can reduce moral hazard. Here are some examples. Higher deductibles induce people to drive more safely and to install fire detectors. Inspecting homes and factories ensures that the building has proper equipment. Spot inspections monitor whether a factory is following proper procedures. Charging people for damage to rental cars induces them to drive more safely. Charging people for how, where, and when they drive induces them to drive more safely. Contingency compensation induces employers to work and not to shirk. Using a GPS system attached to each insured vehicle illustrates how monitoring and incentives can reduce adverse selection and moral hazard. When the GPS system is attached to cars, insurance companies are able to charge usage-based insurance rates depending on how much, when, and where the insured vehicle is driven. Autograph, a firm that was awarded a patent in 2001, was shown to save policyholders in Richmond an average of 25% of what they were previously paying. The system reduces rates for drivers with the GPS system for two reasons. First, bad drivers are likely to avoid usage-based rates. This helps solve the adverse selection problem. Second, drivers with the GPS system have an incentive to drive safely and cautiously in order to keep the premium low. This helps address the moral hazard problem. The insurance company can also use the knowledge that the customer declined the option to install the system in their car when it sets rates for those customers. Customers that decline the option in their cars are signaling that they believe they are not safe, cautious drivers. The insurance company should, therefore, raise rates for the drivers who decline the option. Perceptive students may recognize this as an example of indirect price discrimination.